Good evening. So the purpose of this video is to figure out who your soulmate is. And I wanted to ask not just who they are, but how you're going to meet them possibly, and what they like about you. And lastly, if there's any obstacles standing in the way. And another thing I was going to do was at the very end, I was going to pull from this affirmators deck to see if maybe there's an extra piece of advice to give you guys. So here we have 3 decks. They're completely distinct decks. We have the Bluebird Lenormand, the Mystical Kipper deck, and then this is the I think it's a mini Hanson Roberts tarot deck. So they are all divinatory decks, just in different styles. So I'm going to count down from 10. Just take your time, but just reminding you that you should probably just go with your first instinct, not think too much about it. So let's start. Who is your soulmate? I'm going to count down from 10, and that'll give you time to choose between the 3 decks once again. And the order is going to be 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to count down from 10 starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you've made your decision, gone with your first instinct, I'm going to start with this first Bluebird Lenormand deck. I'm going to move the other cards out of the way. So let's ask the cards, who is your soulmate? What kind of person is your soulmate? What kind of a person is your soulmate? And then also, excuse me, getting a little bit sick. So yeah, what kind of person, who is your soulmate? Okay, so who is your soulmate? Where are you going to meet them? What do they like about you? Are there any obstacles in the way? And then lastly, I'll pull from the affirmators deck. So let's see. Who is this person? What kind of person is this person? So I'm seeing here that your soulmate is going to be someone that perhaps you meet through friends or like a family friend, very loyal. I think you're already talking with this person, communicating with this person, maybe on a regular basis, or maybe when you see this person, it's usually in a big group. So, excuse me, that's what I'm seeing. And where will you meet this person? Where will you meet your soulmate? So I'm thinking maybe it'll definitely be outside. It'll be at a social gather, like a place where there's a lot of people, like a big public place with lots of people, lots of socializing going on. And it may actually be maybe like at a dog park or something to do with animals, like maybe at the animal shelter, or something involving animals, or maybe like a park where people will bring their pets. But it will be a very social public place regardless. Yeah, so big public social place. So what does this person like about you? What is this person? Why are they going to fall for you? What do they like about you? Let's see. So if you are a female, I think what they're going to like is that you might be a bit of a tomboy. Yeah, you might be a little bit of a tomboy. If you're a male, they like you because you're like a man's man, like a manly man. Really tough. And regardless of which gender you associate with, male or female. If you're non-binary, they will like the male, traditionally male aspects of your personality. And also, I see that you're very emotional. Once you meet, you're going to connect very deeply on an emotional level, talking a lot, sharing secrets to one another, being vulnerable with each other, and they're gonna really like that about you. And then lastly, we have, I take this card as meaning that you are not adverse to change. So what they're really gonna like about you is the fact that maybe you're a bit of a risk taker, you like change, you kind of, you're not mundane or boring, like you like change and you move with change. And then lastly, let's figure out, are there any obstacles in the way right now from you meeting them or from them being your soulmate? What's an obstacle here? Let's see. Any obstacles for group 1? So yeah, I think either you or them, you're very busy with a job or some kind of confined place. You're very preoccupied with that state of being kind of confined either at work or someplace where you just feel kind of locked in, where you don't really have much time to get out maybe or meet them. And yeah, you're just busy, you're toiling away, or it could even be maybe you spend a lot of time at home or most of the time with your family or with your roommates, something to do with your dwelling place currently. Maybe you just spend a lot of time there, you're very confined there, and so I guess you don't really have much time or energy maybe to go out and meet this person otherwise. So lastly, I'm gonna pull actually let me move these cards out of the way. I'm gonna pull an affirmators card for you. Try to figure out if there's maybe a piece of advice for you from this affirmators deck. So for group 1, let's see. Is there any advice that we can give them concerning their soulmate? The advice, please, for group 1. For the blue lenormand group, some advice, please. So here is a golden piece of advice for group 1 concerning your soulmate or meeting your soulmate. Acceptance. When I get to know new people, so that's what the card looks like, acceptance. When I get to know new people, I accept their actual traits rather than the ones I project on them. Same goes for not new people I already know. Acceptance is the delicate art that reminds us everyone is their own unique self, and we can't expect them to ever be anything but. Man, how do those snowflakes do it? So yeah, I think accepting somebody for who they really are when you meet them, seeing them for who they really are, maybe taking the time to peel back the layers of the onion of who they are. So without further ado, I'm going to move on to group 2. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you, and I'll see you later, group 1. So group 2, we have the kipper card deck with the little monkey holding the crystal ball. This is the mystical kipper. So let's ask for you guys. So who is your soulmate? What kind of person is your soulmate? Who is your soulmate? What kind of person is group 2 soulmate? Who is their soulmate? What kind of person is group 2 soulmate? Oh, oops. Bit of a shuffling bigger. So who is group 2 soulmate? Who is group 2 soulmate? Okay. So that looks good. So this person, I think, is someone, excuse me, who's overcome a lot in their life. They've been through a lot, they've learned a lot, and they have had a really great mother, great upbringing, and I think that's why they were able to become rich, because they have good values. So even though they've maybe had a tough childhood, maybe some poverty, some hardships, adversity in some way, because of the good mother, their mother, I think, strong mother in their lives, or some form of female figure in their lives, grandma, mother, older sister, something, and they're able to overcome that and then run into this unexpected money. So they're probably doing pretty well for themselves financially or professionally in some way. Okay, now let's ask, so where will group 2 meet this soulmate? Where will they meet their soulmate? Where will they meet this person? Where will they meet this person? So I think that you may meet this person in a really unlikely way. It's going to be that maybe someone, maybe you were wronged in some way, a bit of an inconvenience, a legal matter, possibly. You're going through some legal issue, and I honestly feel like maybe they're going to be your lawyer even, or someone who's going to help you in that case. Some kind of inconvenience that maybe you, or maybe even them, are going through, you're going to meet in like a situation where you're figuring that out, whether that be at a court or like an administrative office maybe, or government office, or some kind of place where you're figuring those things out. Could even be in the state, the time frame where you're figuring that out. Anywhere, it could be anywhere. But it looks like you're going to end up doing well with that issue, whatever it is. One or both of you are going to end up on the winning side, so that's great. Okay, so let's ask, what does this person like about group 2? What does this person, what does group 2 soulmate really like about them? What does group 2 soulmate ultimately really like about them? Okay, so this is pretty clear to me that they see you as marriage material. You may play an instrument, play the piano, maybe a singer, some musical talent maybe. I really love that about you. And then I think you're really smart. Maybe you're pretty analytical, strategic. Maybe you're into playing board games with each other, or chess. But I think that's something that they're going to like, that you have a quick mind. And then I think maybe what they're going to like about you is that you might be pretty independent by the time you meet them, if you are not already. And you're going to be really independent, strong, wealthy. You're going to be doing well for yourself, just like this person overcame a lot of odds, and then through their values, and then ran into some wealth themselves. They're going to see you as, wow, I really admire this person for having those same qualities. Okay, now let's ask the cards. So is there any obstacles standing in the way of meeting their soulmate? What are the obstacles that may be in the way of group 2 meeting their soulmate? What are the obstacles? Okay. So in terms of obstacles, so I think maybe he might be a bit, or her, him, whoever they are, might be a bit insecure. So maybe they're either maybe burying themselves in their work, or maybe distancing themselves from dating. I'm seeing that. One or both of you are already in a relationship, maybe isolating yourself in the relationship, or just really, really spending a lot of time and energy into this relationship, or dating somebody else, dating the wrong people, dating, or maybe you even ran into them and skipped them. Now you're dating somebody else. I don't know, it really could be anything. And yeah, you're spending a lot of time dating, I think dating somebody else. Maybe you spent a lot of holiday time with this current person in your life that, yeah, or somebody else that you're spending time with, whether it's a friend or someone or other people, but I don't think they are your soulmate. But in the case that you are with someone and they feel like your soulmate, it could be that maybe they're, okay, if I look at the cards again in that scenario, it could be that they've gone through some adversity and they're still on their way to being successful. And by the time they're successful, all this might unfold because they're a different person after that transformation. So that can honestly be it as well. Maybe they won't be your soulmate until they're ready, until they're their best self, confident in themselves and really appreciate themselves for who they are. And I think by then, you'll probably be pretty self-actualized and go through some growth possibly. But that's just an alternate case, I think. At least that's what I'm picking up intuitively. Okay, so let's get a piece of advice, a last piece of advice for group 2 from this affirmator deck. So can I have one last piece of advice for group 2 from the affirmators deck? What's a piece of advice concerning their soulmate, please? What's a piece of advice for group 2 concerning their soulmate, please? Okay, so we've got maturity. So yeah, that actually goes really hand in hand with what I just was explaining. Like maybe it could have been you've already met this person, but maybe one or both of you aren't quite mature enough yet to really step into that phase of even looking for a soulmate or accepting a soulmate. Even if you think you are ready, maybe perhaps you have some growing to do. Either way. So I'll read the card to you. Maturity. I make peace with the tough relationships of my past. I probably would have skipped the pain they came with, but I'm grateful for the lessons they brought me. Because of those tough relationships, I can look back at the mosaic of my life and see value in even the most broken pieces. So yeah, there you go. Maturity. I think that's a pretty good lesson to learn. So that was a reading for group 2. Like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you. And I'll see you later, group 2. So I am going to move straight on into group 3, the Hanson Roberts tarot deck. So let's ask, who is group 3's soulmate? What kind of a person is group 3's soulmate? Who's group 3's soulmate? What kind of a person is group 3's soulmate? Answer this question, please. Okay, card I think popped out, so it might be significant actually. So I see this person being very blunt, possibly an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. I'm getting some strong Gemini because these two cards are pretty different from each other in terms of the vibe, completely different. So I'm getting some strong Gemini. If not in their sun sign, it could be in their moon, Venus, or rising signs in their natal chart. There's somebody who kind of alternates between preparing, being responsible for things, and then another side of them, maybe it's almost like the Gemini sort of trait, is that they're very into risk-taking, kind of a daredevil. So they have two sides to them, but they're always very, very blunt, very honest, they almost to the point where it can almost be like tactless if there was a negative trait, a negative part of that. But they're very honest, very blunt. And yeah, once again, possibly an air sign with some strong Gemini in their natal chart. Okay, some cards just fell out, so we'll look at those. Oh, that's way too many cards, so. Okay, let me just use those and then we'll draw from here. These seem pretty significant when they popped out. So the second question is, how will you meet them? How is group 2 going to meet their soulmate? I think it might be I'm getting like some athletic event, like if you're into sports or group sports, or maybe just going to a game, or that's what I'm kind of getting. Like some sort of competition, like competitive environment, whether you're a part of the competition or someone else's, like a public competition of some kind, where there's going to be a lot of people watching. And you're going to know right away that you're drawn to each other. It's going to be like love at first sight, almost. Like you're going to know right away. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, there's some twin flame energy. And if they have some Gemini in your chart, it's possible that you may have some Gemini as well, in your chart as well, in your natal chart, in either your sun, moon, rising, or Venus signs. And yeah, I really see that you're going to meet them in a public, competitive sort of place, like a sports game or some arena. Or it could even be like, you know, even as random as like a chess competition or any kind of competitive environment. I see you meeting there, but there's so much balance here. There's a lot of balance, a lot of symmetry, and I'm getting a lot of, once again, like twin flame energy. I think you're going to know right away, even if you don't know, like, oh, I really like this person, I love this person, obviously, you're going to know there's something special about this person that stands out to you in some way among the crowd. So, next question is, what do they like about you? Or what are they going to like about you ultimately? What are they going to like about you? So what is group 3 soulmate going to like about them? Like most about them? Oh, okay. A bit of a shuffling goo-goo. So what is group 3 soulmate like most about them? Okay. What is group 3's soulmate going to like most about them? Yeah, they really like that you're strong. You may be a bit competitive yourself, or if you are good at something, if you are very good at it, some kind of talent or skill that you have, and you really know how to weather hardship. Like you may be an athlete or someone who competes or someone who needs to, you know, rise above yourself or others in your skill or talent, and you really know how to weather that and get to places. Yeah, and I think that I don't know, I'm getting the vibe that you've always kind of been that way ever since you were a child. That's just the way that you've always been. You've always been drawn to that competitive sort of spirit within you, I'm seeing. Okay, so last question is for group 3. So what kind of obstacles are there to meeting their soulmate? What kind of obstacles do we have for group 3? What kind of obstacles do we have for group 3 that might get in the way of meeting their soulmate? Okay, there's 2, and then another one. So I see that you're pretty busy with your life currently. Maybe paying off debt, just working, almost like going through the motions, like you have a really tight schedule. You may be already kind of not committed, but like you may have broken up with somebody recently, and you're still your heart is still kind of recovering from that. Like you may have been either married, so you could be divorced, or maybe broken up with someone. If not recently, like you're still kind of carrying that with you. So I'm kind of seeing that as maybe something that you may need to get over. You're in a very emotional place, And then with this, just carrying kind of a burden, like whether it's paying off debt, having a really strict routine, strict schedule where you're kind of tight on time, that could be it, as well as the maybe carrying some baggage that, but I think that I see here that you're slowly kind of coming to the realization that, you know, you're like where you are in your situation, and I think how to get out of it, how to let go of the past, how to stop limiting yourself. You're trying to look for like ways around it somehow, and that's good. I'm seeing, picking that up. Okay, so last but not least, let's try to get some some advice for group 3 from the affirmators deck. Let's try to get some advice. So what advice do we have for group 3 concerning their soulmate, please? What last piece of advice do we have for group 3 concerning their soulmate? Please give us some advice concerning their soulmate. Okay, so beyond just the you know, trying to figure out how to make time and really open your heart to healing, let's see what other advice we can get for you guys. Okay, so oh, we got this for another group as well. It's interesting. Oh, here we have acceptance. So when I get to know new people, I accept their actual traits rather than the ones I project on them. Excuse me. Same goes for non-new people I already know. Acceptance is the delicate art that reminds us everyone is their own unique self, and we can't expect them to ever be anything but. Man, how do those snowflakes do it? So, yeah, accepting yourself, accepting maybe with the baggage with your ex, whoever they are, accepting that maybe they weren't what you needed, you know, maybe you weren't what either of you guys needed at the time, really opening your heart to healing, accepting your current situation, accepting that you need to somehow find time and ways to heal and get out of the funk. There are always little cracks, I think, in the window that you can find in any situation to let the sunlight into the cracks. So I hope this was helpful. That's all I have. Excuse me, I'm sick, so my voice is a little froggy. That's all I have for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. So like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you. And I will see you later, group 3.